You're listening to Frank Talks, Pleasures and Lifestyles, and I'm Frank, because I have to be. And we're in studio today with Mr. Jean Hamel, who is the author of the book Swinging, a Societal Phenomenon. Welcome back, Mr. Hamel.
Welcome back.
All right, let's continue talking about your book. Now, how much does it cost and where can people find copies of it?
It's not that expensive. It's $24.95, and most libraries have it, and most swing clubs, and sex boutiques. So there's like 3 markets.
Fantastic. So any of those places, if they ask for the book by name, Jean Hamel, Swinging, a Societal Phenomenon?
Or just the swinging book, because it's the only one published so far.
For Quebec?
Even for the States, there's none, and even for Canada. Well, for Canada, there was one about 5 years ago by a journalist called Terry Gould.
Yes.
In Vancouver, but it was more there was that swinging book about Mr. Gould, but it's not the same kind of book we wrote. He wrote a book about what he saw as a journalist from the outside. It was more like a study about the lifestyle, and the book I wrote is more like I'll tell you what's inside. There's a brief history about Quebec swing clubs. There's a whole chapter about contemporary swingers clubs with pictures. There's about 80 pictures in the book. There's a whole chapter on how to what you have to do before you swing. There's a chapter about our Quebec laws, and a whole chapter about all the police raids that happened in 1998 and 1999. I don't want to scare people with that, because since 1999 the police has not made any raids at all. But during those 2 years, 1998 and 1999, in fact, we had 4 police raids in Montreal and 2 police raids in Quebec City.
That's actually a very important point about your book. This is written from a first-hand account.
Yes.
You've been a swinger for the majority of your life, and
yes.
Everything that's written here is written by somebody who's actually lived the lifestyle, not somebody who went in to study the lifestyle and write about it.
No, it's from the inside.
You know, this book actually is probably closer to your life, more maybe almost an autobiography.
For the first chapter, yes, but no, the rest is a year and a half of collecting information. I've assisted to all the trials there were since the year 2000. I've listened and viewed a lot of documentaries about swinging. Every time there's something about swinging, you can make sure I'm there to take the information.
And the book comes in English and in French, correct?
Yes, it was released in French in 2003. And now the released in English for early 2004.
What I find very interesting about this book is that if we flip to the back of the book, there are coupons back here.
Yeah.
One is to get into Club L'Orage. We have a 50% off the regular price for the Montreal Sexy Boat, and 50% off for information sessions on swinging.
Yeah,
can you
this
tell
is
us
the most valuable one, I think, because newcomers, beginners, can come to an information session on swinging, which are held every last Saturday of the month at different clubs in Montreal, and we answer all their questions. It's a 2-hour seminar, and all the answers are right there, because there's a big interest, Well, a crop survey around Canada, all across Canada, told us that 14% of the Canadians are curious about swing clubs. That's a lot of people, 14%. But how many about that 14% are actually willing to go to a swing club? That's another thing, because people are afraid. People heard so many bad things about swing clubs. And the info sessions are there to tell the truth and to tell people, hey, listen, it's just a lifestyle with consenting adults and nothing's bad going on there. Nobody's forced to do anything, and you'll find it very respectful.
Is there a website that people can go to get more information on these information sessions?
They sure can, yeah. It's very easy. It's an acronym for the Quebec Swingers Association. So it's A like association, E like échangiste in French, Q for Quebec, S for swingers, and A again for association.com. So it's AEQSA.com.
That's great. And another thing I noticed is that for the coupon for l'orage, that covers the entire cost of entry, which if you're a single man could be
up to $50, yeah.
And if you're a couple, it's about $20, depending on the night.
Weekdays and weekends, it's $40. Yes, so yeah, the price of the book is covered right there. If you use one coupon, you just paid your book. The only thing people have to buy if they go at l'orage for a first time is a membership card, which is not covered with the coupon.
Now, just before we're running out of time here, so just before we end off, you have at the back of your book indexes of various information. Let's see if we can go through these. You have a Biography, and this covers all the different...
the books I read to be able to write my own book. The documentaries I've watched on TV, French or English, Canada or United States or France, in order to understand the differences between the lifestyle here in Quebec and the lifestyle in the rest of Canada or the States. Because as Quebecers, 90% of the Quebec population are French with Latin roots. We don't swing as our neighbor friends we don't swing the same way as our neighbor friends from Ontario do, or our friends from United States.
And does your book go into what the differences?
Yes. Well, the largest difference is here in Quebec, most of the people, I would say 99% of the people, practice what we call close swinging. That means if we're in couple, my girlfriend and I will be in the same room with the other couple. So the four of us will form a foursome, and that foursome will be together all night long. In the rest of Canada or in the States, they practice open swinging. My girlfriends go with the other man in one room, and I go with the other woman in another room. And the real couple is not having sex in the same room at the same time. So that's the major differences between the rest of Canada and the way we do it here in Quebec.
Something really interesting here in your book is you have a catalog of films. And now these are not documentaries per se, these are fictional...
It's a mix of everything. You have some documentaries and you have real movies that you can watch in the theater, and all of them even talk about swinging or leads you to a comprehension of why people are swinging, because I have some very, very old movies in my catalog of film. They go back in, the oldest one goes back in the year 30s, in the 30s, okay? People had sex in the 30s, of course, but people had group sex in the 30s. And most of the people don't know about that. And late 60s and beginning of 70s, we had some French movies here that made scandal. One of them is called L'Initiation, with an actress, a French actress called Danielle Ouimet. She was the first one to show her boobs on a screen, you know. And she got arrested for that, and it was like a big scandal at the time. So I thought those movies were good for me to really understand how come people want to swing. What's the purpose of swinging? Why people are looking to have sex with a different partner, with a different mate, and they can still be in love with their own boyfriend or girlfriend. And all those movies or documentaries or television televised interviews were part of the work I had to study in order to write my book.
You can find all this information and more in Jean Hamel's book, Swinging, a Societal Phenomena. It'll be in sale again, if we just can recap that. It's going to be sold in sex boutiques, swing clubs, and in libraries?
Yeah, libraries.
Excellent. Jean, thank you so much.
Hey, it's always my pleasure to come and see you, Frank.
Thank you very much for taking the time out to visit us. We wish you a lot of success with your book, and we look forward to having you back on the show in the future.
Hey, thank you, Frank, and our thoughts will be for you and your show.
Excellent.